advertising industry is quite crazy at the moment. Like every Tom, Dick, and Harry just wants to start an advertising agency or social media media management. People believe that it's an easy way in to start a business, which is not. Being Bahrain, being a small country with a lot of competition, it's quite crazy. It's quite crazy. But of course, people we need to stand out. We need to stand out with our services and the way we think and the way we add value and the way we talk to people and the way we address the issues or the problems our clients have and how we can find a solution. So that's what makes us different than everyone else. As not as us brand concept, but any other agency it could be. And we want to talk about the rates now, the cost, how the cost works. So this is something quite interesting. When I started when I started in the advertising industry, or let's say branding industry in 2004, they were like very selected branding agencies and printing companies. That's a very, very selected. They're like, you can count them with your fingers. There's like not many of them. And the market was big also at the same time. So clients used to know who to choose. And you know what? These are the elite agencies. We need to work with them. These are the small companies. You know what? Let's work with them because we don't have a budget. That's how it used to work in those days. But now, because there's a lot of startup companies that are growing at the moment, and there is a lot of advertising companies now. Everyone has their company registered as a media and advertising, but they're actually a small printing company. Understand what I'm trying to say? They're a small printing company, but they're registered as an advertising agency, which is crazy. But the clients should understand who they deal with usually. Which are the agencies that they need to deal with, which are suitable for them at the end of the day. The pricing starts, you can find a logo for 50 BD, and you can find a logo for 3,000 BD. 50 BD to 3,000, 4,000. So it all depends, and it all depends on the client. How big is the client? What they are trying to achieve, and all. Of course, like if you are a startup, if you're an individual and you don't have a budget, of course you try to go for the cheapest one, which is 50, 100 dinar, 200 BD. So BD, which is Bahraini dinars, of course. But at the end of the day, you as a client have to find the agency which suits you, as I mentioned earlier. And the best way to find out is the way they service you. Is the service, that's it. Like for example, if you go to an advertising company, I don't call them a branding agency, an advertising company, the small ones, they will charge you 30 dinar, 20 dinar, 50 dinar for a logo, maybe 10 BD also for a logo. You will get it definitely. There are a lot out there. But they are basically a printing company. They are not a branding agency. So when they deal with you as a client, you'll be like, hey, listen, I need the logo A, B, C. That's what I want. That's how it should look. They will tell you, yes, let's do it. Come after 3-4 hours, the logo is ready because they have it as a template. There are no designers. There is no thought through. The guy does not have an experience on how your brand should be 3, 4, 5 years. There is no strategy behind it. There's no thinking process behind it. There's nothing. But of course, then when you go to a mid agency, which is the agency which is not the higher end, not the lower end, but the mid. But of course, then you will get, of course, something between 3 to 4 or 500 dinar logo. But again, you will notice the service becomes even much better than the lower end, which is the 50 dinar, becomes a bit better than the lower end by providing you, like rationale, how the logo looks like, what is the meaning of this logo, and here you go. But when you go to the high-end agencies, for example, what happens over here? If you need something, if you need the logo and you want to create a brand or you want to refresh your brand, these agencies might work with you or might not work with you. The reason is, if you are trying to help them, give them a proper brief, they will work with you in the sense like, hey, listen, we like your brief, but does it make sense? They will debate with you, they will challenge you, because at the end, this is reputation for the agency. And not only reputation for the agency, what value they can add to you so that you can also grow. So when you go to an agency who's going to charge you 1,200, 1,800 BD, 2,000 dinar and above, you will see how they interact with you, how they service you, the place, the environment, the questions they ask you, the research that they do, competition analysis, brand analysis, brand research, let's say, the brand guideline, the logo, the stationery, the way they talk to you, the person who's dealing with you, advising you not to do this, not to see. Look at the difference. If you go to a company that sells you 50 dinar logo, 10 dinar logo, he will be like, okay, come to me after 2 hours to have it ready. But if you go to a company which is charging 1,200 dinar, or 1,500 and above, they'll be like, you know, listen, we have certain questions we need to meet. They'll sit with you, you'll set up a meeting with them. There will be like more like almost 10 to 15 questions, and this question will be analyzed. They might come back to you with more questions because they need to understand you better. What is your vision? What is your mission? What you're trying to achieve? Where do you want to go for 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line? Then they will create a logo with the first draft, the second draft. What is the meaning? Why we chose that color? What is the meaning of that shape? What is the rationale behind the logo? And how will you achieve the brand? And sometimes they even give you a brand strategy, a mini strategy based on your brand. How do you need to communicate your brand? To whom you need to communicate? What is the style? What is the tone? So, you know, you get this difference, you know, when you talk to people. So this is where the misconception happens between the client and the agency that, oh, why you are too expensive? The agency is too expensive because you are paying for their time, because their value. It's like a dog. Let me give you an example. When you go to a doctor, like, let's say a dentist, for example. There are dentists that you pay 100 BD to pull out your teeth and fix it, whatever. And there are doctors you pay 400 BD for the same procedure. But many of you go for the 400 because the doctor who you pay 400 has more experience, been in the market for more than 20 years. Everyone knows him. You know that he's going to make sure that your tooth is going to go fixed properly. You're going to be healthy. He's going to take care of you. He's going to advise you. He's going to tell you what needs to be done. But the 100 dinar might not do all that. That's how advertising works also. That's how branding agency works. We take care of our clients, the higher end. The people who charge you 50, 10 dinar, unfortunately not. Because why? They are a printing company. They are not an advertising or branding agency. There is a difference, everyone. So that's my point of view. If you have any comment, please add it in the comment section. Maybe I will hear from you also, your point of view. What did you experience as an agency or a client? And I would love to learn from you guys. Take care.